what is like one of your best practical tips for people who are like, I don't have enough volunteers, or I'm trying to recruit volunteers, help? What do you tell them?
I was very new and I had lots of people on Sunday morning who canceled that they cannot come and help. So what I did, I took my elementary coordinator and I was like, come, we're gonna go and pray. We prayed, we left the office, and within 5 minutes, I had 3 people came to me and say, well, I thought you might need some help today. And I was like, yes, I do. So God just sent people. I didn't have to ask. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not like it happens all the time. But I think that was kind of confirmation, like, I've got your back. So that's the first tip. The second one is a few years ago, we did an interview with our volunteers who show up every week. And she shared what she does and how important that thing is to her. And that really struck my heart, saying, like,
Well, welcome to the Amazing Kidsmin podcast. And today we have quite a treat. Today we have someone who is kind of a kids ministry guru. Like, she is not just really creative and really knowledgeable and wise in the way that she gives tips and but her passion for kids leaders and kids ministry, and to see it done well and to see it done right, is very, very, very just inspiring. And so I'm excited today to welcome to the Amazing Kidsmin podcast, Renata from Kids Ministry Life. Renata Redman, say hello.
hi, Tyler, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I always say this. So, Chris, who I work with, he's the CEO here at Amazing Life, and we're having fun doing everything together. He always has this Kiwi accent. He's from, oh my, I almost said South Africa. He don't tell him I said that. He's from New Zealand. And so he always like, sorry, and people try to guess where he's from. But you have a beautiful accent too. Where are you like from?
So at the moment, together with my family, we are based in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. But we moved here 4 years ago from London, UK. And probably I spent most of my life in England. So I moved there when I was 18. But I was born in Poland. So probably my accent, it's mix of everything. And my husband is South African too. So I get some, accents from him too. So it's mix of everything.
That's awesome. It's
Yeah.
it's great. You sound so much cooler than I do. So, thank you for just talking today. Our viewers just went like it skyrocketed just because of how cool you sound as opposed to me. So,
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
so you're in Florida, and but you have this really cool, I don't what like community, this collective, this it's called the Kids Ministry Life. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, and how did it come to be? Like, what is this?
So yes, it is Kids Ministry Life. It's a community for kids ministry leaders, but I think it's a mix of leaders. There's some pastors, there's some parents, there's some volunteers, like a mix of really cool people. The idea with the whole page came when I was kind of thinking, like, if I sat down with myself, let's say 20 years ago, what are the things that I want to know? Like, what would I like to, like, know before, like, I don't know how to explain, but basically, what I want to know, like, 20 years ago. And this is kind of like letting door open for the people to pick into kids ministry, which it's very much kind of like how we do stuff. It's very practical, like we do, you go online, you find a lot of practicals, you will find lots of um resources, but most of them are very much kind of telling you how to do things. This is kind of, you can see hands on how it works, what doesn't work. What conversation can you have with the kids, how to pray with them, how to encourage your leaders, how to train your leaders. Very practical stuff. Yeah, so the whole idea was kind of like what I wish I knew 20 years ago, and that's what I usually post when I do the post. I think that's what I would like to know, and then I do the post.
So tell me, like 20 years ago, what were you in kids ministry? Were you a kids pastor? Like, how did you get into it?
I've got a lot of like mix of everything. So I grew up in a Christian home. Our church was involved with Youth with the Mission, and we did kids a lot. So I went on a lot of mission trips, and I had God called me to kids ministry from a very young age. I think when I was 13, I knew I'm going to be in kids ministry. I didn't know that it's going to look like what it looks now. I was kind of thinking it's going to be like I'm going to travel as a missionary and work with the kids. And
Yep.
that's what I did for some time. I did work with the street kids in Argentina for some time, which was life-changing experience. I mean, I spent prior to that, I was in Las Vegas for a few months and we worked with street kids too. And then we went to Argentina, and that was a very different experience. I, s- like homeless child in America, it's very different. Um, Usually they do have homes, but the parents don't care as much, and we feed them and we do stuff. The kids in Argentina, they literally live on the street. When we arrived for the first time, we went with a person who was taking care of us in Argentina, and he took us to show us what we're going to be doing, where we're going to be working. He took us to meet the kids, and we went to this area which was very poor. It was like underneath the train track, and there were a couple mattresses, very dirty, and there were like probably six boys sleeping on those mattresses. They were holding their shoes. They were sleeping. It was very. The smell was. It was just very bad, and it was just heartbreaking. Like it was so. It was so sad and heartbreaking. I was like, they don't have homes, and they were like 12, 11. And I said, well, it's a six boys. And then he said, oh, that's not it, come. And then we went around the corner, and there were probably like 20, 30 of those mattresses with the kids. There were boys and the girls, and some of them were aged like 6 and 7. Oh, and it just broke my heart. Like, it's just, to be honest with you, I was speechless for the rest of the day. I was like, whatever I say, it's like it just doesn't matter. So yes, it was definitely life-changing experience for me, and the way I see kids ministry, the way I see children, the way I see family connections. It's definitely beautiful experience, like beautiful experiences. I learned a lot, but it was life-changing experience too.
Wow.
I work in a full-time ministry back in England. So yeah, as a children and family pastor.
That's awesome. Well, and what's interesting is, and I love talking to people like you who have done ministry globally because a lot of the time, and it's I love the church. I deeply love kids ministry.
Mm.
I love it, and I think it's so important, and the work is very sacred.
Yes.
And then sometimes though, there's a bubble that can happen.
Mm.
Like, I was 18 years old the first time I left the country. And I went to Berlin. It was my first trip out of the country was Berlin, and I was a part of putting on this kids ministry, conference in Berlin, and we started talking, like, before we went, we started having these meetings about, "We could talk about this," and it was, like, so eye-opening to be like, "Hey, that's not like, that's so great." Like, we are at a different level of, like, we're trying to meet, like, basic needs of some of these
Mm.
kids.
Yes.
The programming is awesome, and this is great, but what we're trying to do, and it was very, it was like a revelation of like, "Oh, wow," like, the North American or Western version of the church can
Mm.
sometimes be very different than the global church, but it's not less important or more important, it's just there's different styles, and so you've kind of seen both now, like, you've been in, both, like, had a foot in both, like, camps or both boats. So, like, what do you think is some of the biggest differences that people would be shocked by when it comes to, like, the way we do full-time vocational ministry and kids pastor? Not everyone is full-time. We have directors and part-time people
Mm.
who do a great job. But what do you think would shock people about when we kinda step outside just the way that, like, a regular or average church in America operates as a kids ministry?
Ah, um,
It's a big question. I just put you on the spot so hard because it's like, it's different, and maybe it is just like, maybe people would be shocked to know that there really is a difference, even between you being in London and here in North America, the way that we engage with parents or, even just the time we get from volunteers or parents or people can vary and be different.
it is, it really is. But a lot of struggles that kids ministry, like we do have here in America, it's very similar to what we had in England. And I know other places in Europe has the same kind of like, how do I, for example, one of the probably biggest pain point, or the biggest struggle, is to recruit volunteers. And how do I build team of the people so it's not just me running everything by myself?
Yeah.
And I think that's the struggle people have here, and the same struggle people have, back in England. So it's always like we need more people. So I think that's a lot of the same. There will be cultural difference in probably like a teaching and the worship, and but this also depends on the church, you see. So one church will be one way, the other church will like something else. I use orange curriculum back in England, so for me, we had very similar culture to the church that I'm in now, and we're using orange curriculum. I did hear that a few times, like in England. I was like, oh, this is too American. We can't use that. So I think, but that's for English people. I think they like to be a little bit more elegant and more, so it's some things that maybe they find a curriculum with too cheesy or too wild or too loud for them.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a cultural difference that I can see. But in general, I think it really depends on the church, and the struggles are probably similar to
Yeah.
what we have here.
So when you've launched the kids ministry life, like in the community of it, and how has the response been? And like what do you think, like how have you felt about how people have kind of grasped to it? Were you shocked by it? Were you like, wow, people
Yes,
okay.
I was completely shocked. Like, I would never expect that page to grow. I would never expect it to have 10,000 followers, not alone 60,000. So it's just been growing. And I even spoke to my husband, was like, what is going on? So, and I'm very thankful. And I truly believe this is by grace of God that this page it's doing so well. And I do um, try to post things that are helpful for people. I think that grow, like I want to, this is I think what it's really important, and for the leaders, and I always remind myself, the kids ministry doesn't belong to me. It belongs to God. And it's not just me, and I'm gonna hide everything that I do. So because it's a little secret and I just want my church to grow, I'm opening the door. And I was like, if you find this helpful and if that can bless your church, have it. I want you to have it. It's not me. Like, it's God. He helped me to be creative and create those things. Have it, use it, and if it's helpful, great. And I had a couple people who came from my local church, and they came to our church and they was like, would you mind to see if we see your system? How do you work? And what is your supply room looks like? All the things. And I was like, yeah, come in, have a look. Well, I can show you. So, and then kind of like, yeah, it struck me like people sometimes like to pick in someone else's kids ministry and see how they do it. And I know it's not going to work for everyone, and everyone will do differently, which is fine. But if it works for some of the people and some of the churches, I want that to be blessing, because yeah, God is blessing us, and I just want to just pass that blessing to others.
It's blessing a lot of people, and I think it's and if for anyone watching or listening right now, if you it's on Instagram, if you go to the Kids Ministry Life page, you'll see Renata. She's there. She's giving awesome tips, and it feels very universal or practical. Like it's, I think what's cool sometimes, and like I think in the kids ministry space, you have to have both. Like we have to have vision of like, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we like. This is what's happening in the world, or this is what's happening with kids in this generation. And like, we need a rallying cry almost, but you still have to have the like, okay, but what am I doing this weekend? And like, I'm like, I was always the kid that liked to know how things worked. Like, like it was, if you got something, it was like, no, but how, like, I wanted to take it apart and see it. And so, like, I love your page because you give very practical, like, "Hey, here's one way to do this." And you just said it. Like, I love how you said, "It probably won't work for everyone, but here's one way that I think is really helpful. It serves me. It can serve you if you wanna adapt it for yourself." And have you found people, like, you have to get responses all the time being like, "Oh my goodness, thank you. Like, this was so helpful."
Yes, I do. I do. I do get a lot of very kind messages from the people that thank me for what I do and for all the resources. I've got a lot of questions about, okay, so that's what we do, but can you give me, more details about that? And I do get a lot of question about training volunteers. How do I recruit people? Because, a kids ministry, it is a kids ministry by name, and you do work with kids, but it takes so much more. The kids ministry is recruiting volunteers, training your volunteers, leading worship, teaching, cleaning, I don't know, serving snacks. You have all those roles in a kids ministry.
Event planner, like, yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's not just by name. It's not like, okay, oh, I'm going to be kids ministry and you just work with kids. Well, that's part of the job, but I think there's a lot of in that jobs that you have to learn, and how do you equip your volunteers? How do you build a team that you can delegate works, and it's not everything on your mind all the time, because that's when the burnout comes in and it's hard. So I think for me, learning how to build a team of the people, how to have volunteers that show up every week, I think that was complete game changer for me in kids ministry.
So I was at a conference last week and someone stopped me and was, giving me just kind of a rundown or a synopsis of their ministry. And like what it broke down to was like, they didn't have volunteers. So they asked me like, "Hey, what's the like if you could give me one piece of advice for like recruiting volunteers, like what would you do?" And you're kind of put on the spot like, and you have answers, but you don't wanna give them the wrong idea or the wrong and so anyways, it was hilarious, but you're doing this a lot, and I think you've seen and you talk to a lot of different, like, communities, churches, people who are in different scenarios from, like,
Mm.
larger churches to smaller churches to in between churches to load in, load out churches, like and so what is, like, one of your best practical tips for people who are like, "I don't have enough volunteers," or, "I'm trying to recruit volunteers, help." Like, what do you tell them?
Well, there are a few things I would recommend. One is pray. Again, this is God's ministry. He will give you people that you need. He knows you need and who needs to be on kids ministry. So I would start with the prayer. And I've got a few more tips, but before I go there, I remember my first few weeks in that current position here in
Yeah.
Florida. I was very new, and I had lots of people on Sunday morning who canceled that they cannot come and help. So I was very short on the amount of people coming to help me that Sunday. So what I did, I took my elementary coordinator and I was like, "Come, we're gonna go and pray." So people are arriving, we are in my office, we are praying. I was like, "God, like I need your help here, because I need volunteers. I need people to come and serve. And I know this ministry belongs to you, and I know you're taking care of it. So if we don't have enough people, just make it smooth, make it good today, and that everyone is safe." And then we prayed. We left the office, and within 5 minutes, I had three people came to me and say, "Well, I thought you might need some help today." And I was like, "Yes, I do." So God just sent people. I didn't have to ask. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not like it happens all the time. But I think that was kind of confirmation. Like, I've got you. I've got your back. I'm with you. And that was very beautiful. And it was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, God really sent people. Like, they came and asked if I need help. That doesn't happen every day.
God is really good at recruiting. He's actually got a really good track record of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's great. He's really great. So that's the first tip, like pray. Really pray for the right people, not just for someone to show up for, but for people who really have passion for kids ministry.
Yeah.
The second one is, don't feel bad asking for help. Sell the vision, like not sell the vision, but share the vision with people of what it means. Like, we've got this great, and again, this is just from my experience. um, I always felt bad asking people to come and help. Oh, because they're busy and they work with kids like through the week, and they
Yeah.
want to go to service. So I just felt bad. But then I understood, like a few years ago, we did an interview with our volunteers who show up every week. And she did interview for the church just to share the vision and share what she does and how important that thing is to her. And that really struck my heart, saying like, this is really important to her. Like, this serving changed her life. Like, she loves it. Like, why would I steal and rob that take it away from her. Like, I wanted to be part. She loves it. And I think there's a lot of people in our churches who wants to be part of what God is doing, like building God's kingdom here on the
Yep.
earth. People wants to be part. Sometimes they don't know how they can be part of it. And I do so yes, invite them to the like tell them the vision, tell them like what they're going to be doing, that they're going to change, the importance of investing in next generation. And I had some statistics here, like 50%, half of Christians, they gave their life to Jesus before they were 12. Like, what you do, it's not like babysitting. You changing next generation. People who are going to run your country, people who are going to run your church are now in the church. And you can invest that time in them and invest, you know, just your talent to bless those kids. So yeah, so I think just invite people. Don't see it as a please help me. I'm desperate for help. No, invitation to something bigger. So I think that it's super important. The next thing is just talk to people what they want to do, because there are so many different roles in kids ministry. I've got one lady, Crystal, and I just love her so much. I love all my volunteers, but she's so sweet. She said, I really don't know how to work with the kids and I don't want to work with kids, but I want to help you. So she's my snack lady. She shows up every Wednesday night. She serves all the food to the children. She preps everything, and then she cleans the kitchen, and she leaves the place better than it was before she came. And it's like, and she's got such a heart, and she shows up every single Wednesday when we're there. She is there serving, and she loves it. She loves being part of the team. She loves being part of community. She loves to chat to the kids, but she's not the person who's a small group leader, and that's fine. So we've got a welcome team. You've got a tech team who can come and help. I just got a craft people who come help me, for example, for VBS. They plan all my crafts. Great. They love it. I love it. So yeah, so it's not just a kids ministry come and you have to hang out with the kids all the time, because some people might not feel comfortable. So I would say have those different roles and then ask people where they will feel comfortable. So I think that's kind of like my another tip on it. And then recruit volunteers. I think what works for me the best is personal recruitment. So when I go and talk to people, definitely personal conversation. We do sometimes from the stage and we tell the people this is, we need volunteers, and we've got like a vision Sunday, and then we recruit people to help with next gen, with the youth, with the students, with the kids ministry. So we do that once a year too. But I think where I get the most of the response, it's when I go and talk to people personally. I talk to parents, I take them for coffee, and then and I ask them, why don't you just come and see? So they usually come for once and they stay for every Sunday.
Great strategy. That is a it would work on me as someone who is a parent and also loves coffee. Like, if you're
Oh yes.
offering coffee, I'd stay as long as the coffee's hot. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah, that's
it.
awesome.
Oh, we do have lots of coffee in kids ministry, definitely. A good one.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We do try to do like kids ministry tour. And that was one of the idea I got from the Orange conference, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
Just to do like a kids ministry tour. So that worked really well for us, and people just want to see the kids ministry in action, and just gives us opportunity to talk to people and just show them what it looks like. So I thought that was really good, but that's something new. We just start doing it.
Wow. It's a very big need within every church, but I'm like skipping back a bit, and like it's a kind of a theme that I feel is coming up a lot with kids pastors right now, and the encouragement of don't apologize for the ask. Like
Mhm.
be really straightforward,
Yes.
and like be really intentional with it's gonna be work. It's gonna be consistent, but like we want you here. We need your help influencing the faith of the next generation.
Yes. Yes.
Can you help us with that? Like, not like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. We really have a need. Would you mind?"
Yes.
You know what I mean? When you're asking, like,
Mm,
would you mind?" It puts them in this mindset of like, "I'm doing you a favor." And it's not that they're not but we're inviting them to build God's kingdom with us.
amen.
And
Yes.
and so, like, I would never go up to someone who I'm asking to help build my house and be like, "Hey, like, so I'm trying to build this a little bit faster. Would you mind helping just like frame some of this out and be like, "Are you good at this? Like, I need someone who's really good at this, and I
Mm,
think you could be. Like, can you
yeah.
help me finish building this?" And so it's like a mindset shift, but
Mm.
it's so helpful. And you've been using Orange curriculum for the past 10 years. And I think one of the cool things about it is, especially when it comes to the intentionality of trying to involve parents and like equip the church to do it, is the small group portion of it, of trying to get consistency with leaders. So, like, what have you, are there things that you've used along the way? And what's your experience been like using Orange?
I love orange. Yeah, as you said, I've been using orange for 10 years now. I think I had 1 year when I was back in England when I tried to, apparently it was too English. Cut that out, please.
No, it's perfect. I
Uh,
refuse.
it was too American. Anyway, when we kind of stopped it for a year, and then we went back to orange because, you know, I personally don't think there is a perfect curriculum that will fit every church. I
There's
don't think
not.
there exists one. It doesn't. So you are kind of in between what works best for your church. And we tried different curriculums, and we came back to Orange because I think um, the amount of different activities that we could choose from and the different options, it was so many that we could choose from. It was very like, it was great. So we went back to Orange and I've been using Orange since.
Hmm.
I know there's some changes now, and I have to say, I love it. Like, we were kind of like, oh, we'll see what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like. But I
Yeah.
love the changes that you made,
Hmm.
guys. I
Awesome.
think for me, what is very important in a curriculum that it's biblically sound and it's good teaching. That's the most important thing. That's what I look at first. The activities I can tweak, change, and do things. But I think what is the most important for me as a kids ministry leader, it's the sound teaching. And I think doing the Bible in a year with this curriculum now we started, it's been great. Like it's been so good. It's like a one big vision, one picture. It's great. Like we see the kids actually, connecting everything together. It's like, oh, so that's how it works. So it's been really, really good. Like I really like that. I think the small group activities been better. There's an improvement on the small group activities. I think they're more intentional and they're more Bible based instead of just having let's have fun and throw the ball. No, there's like intention about each activity to connect it to the Bible, and I love that. I think that's been very good. And a lot feedback from all my small group leaders. They said, "Wow, the small group activity has been good lately." So well done on
Wow.
that one.
I'll
It's
pass
been
it
very good.
along to the team. That's good to
Please
know. That's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, so those I think those two main points, like it's been really good. Do I have to be super honest? I'm not a big fan of the new design, but you can cut that too.
It
I
I
think the
we cut
small group,
nothing.
like I must say, the small group spreadsheets that we
The
have.
like, the formatting.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. I think it was better before. That's my feedback. I love having like all my leaders said we love having like a memory verse on each page. So
Each
when we do like a, yeah, so when
Yep.
they don't have to like try to find where is like we can find the memory verse anywhere now. So it's kind of like have it on every page would be super helpful. Or the bottom line, it's like, oh, that's the bottom line. So it's kind of like straight there. So that was, but this is just such a small
Watch
thing. I
out.
can do that.
No, but watch,
It's
Renata, watch,
coming.
all of a sudden,
It's
it's gonna
coming.
just start showing back up again.
Yeah.
Like, you're,
Great.
you're barking up the right tree, so this is perfect.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
I kind of knew that's why I mentioned.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
awesome.
so it's just but this is such a small thing compared to like the whole overview and what we really need from curriculum. So we love it. It's been great. It's been really great.
I'd be curious what your thoughts are, like, because you talk to a lot and you've been around. I have my own thoughts, but I'm actually very curious for yours. Like, as you look around the church, it's 2026, we've started a new year, but as you look around the church, like, what excites you? Like, what excites you about as you look towards the future of kids ministry? Like, what are you hopeful for? What is like, as you are getting stirred, is there anything that like God's stirring in you? Like, hey, I'm watching this happen. Because sometimes when you see, like, I've always lived like, whatever you see God's hand on, just go all in on that. So, like, as you look around, what are you seeing and what are you excited about when it comes to kids ministry?
I don't know if I've got answer to this question. I don't know. I know. I watched the other day. I watched the some transmission from Passion Conference, and I seen the Mountain Youth on the Passion Conference. It was just incredible to see the amount of youth and young people, seeking God and being hungry for Him. I think this is just incredible to see. I don't think I've ever seen so many young people being in one room searching, needing, longing for God to touch their hearts. And I think that was so beautiful to see. With kids ministry, I think I've noticed more family involvement. I think I've seen more parents asking question of, do I do enough at home for my children to lead them, to disciple them at home? And I think that was like the question I got a lot last year. And I don't know if you noticed, but one of the things that I'm doing on my page, it's just open the Bible together. And lots of people asking me, what is the devotional we can do? What is the devotional you can recommend for us to do at home? I was like, just open the Bible.
Yeah.
Just open the Bible together. And then it kind of like tweaked in my head, like maybe people don't know how to read the Bible with the kids. Like, what question do you ask? We can read, but do we follow up with questions? Do we understand? What if they ask question I don't know the answers for? So I decide kind of like, well, instead of taking another devotional, just open the Bible. It's a living word of God that changes lives. Teach your kids how to use it. So that's why we're doing this 40 days in Mark, and we read the Bible every day together. And I do it with my kids, and they love it. And I think it works really well. So I really equipping families, I think that age, especially from like 5 to 12, and involving parents to disciple the kids at home and just helping them out. I'm a kid minister. I'm a kids minister, and I question myself, like, do I do enough at home with my children? Like, so if I ask myself this question, I'm pretty sure there will be lots of other moms, dads, parents who ask the same question. And how do we equip them as leaders in the church? How do we help parents? Because a lot of them, they won't admit they need help. But a lot of them, they do need help and they want to do it something. Sometimes they're busy, they don't have time. So sometimes it has to be small things. I'm a big believer that doing something is better than doing nothing. So just do something, then just do nothing. So yeah, so I really encourage people to families, and we started in a church. Just open the Bible together with your kids and read it. You don't need another devotional. Just read the Bible and teach them how to do it.
You don't need validation for what you just said, but I was just talking, like, probably an hour ago, was telling and talking to someone about how one of the most formational pieces of my life, like, I'm 33 years old. I still love Jesus. I still love his church. I still love his people. And I wanna be more like him. And I attribute one of the most formational pieces of my faith and my foundation to just my mom opening the Bible,
Mm.
like, in the mornings, and it
Yeah,
wasn't a devotional, and
I'm
before we'd
nice.
read the Bible, she would make us I'm one of 6 kids, so, like, there was a lot of us. I'm the
Yeah.
oldest, but she would have the 4 of us who were older and the 2 babies, but, she would pray, and then she would have all of us pray out loud, and then we would read the Bible, and then we would ask questions about it, and it was very simple. It's not like we were there for an hour and then, like, exposition of, like, "So what do you think substitutionary atonement?" It wasn't that, but it
Yeah.
was just like it was modeled for me, and also I was engaged in it because my mom was super intentional with, like, "Hey, let's open God's word and let's read James." And you'd read James 1, and it's like, "Don't just be hearers of the word, be doers of it. Like, you so deceive yourselves." And, like, you're like a man who looks in a mirror and goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Guys, would that be crazy? Have you ever forgotten what you were wearing after you looked in a mirror? And, like, these questions, like, what does that mean for reading God? And it challenged me just to be like, "Oh, like, this isn't something that I just consume, it's something that I actually, engage with, and it
Mhm.
it helps
I
me live
love
my life."
that.
So, like, I to your point, I agree. I think if parents, when they feel like, "I don't know what to do, where do I go? Where should I start?" I love the simplicity of, like, just open the Bible and, like, read through the Gospels, like, read the stories, tell them the stories of Jesus, or,
Yes.
read the stories of, like, David, and it's not about the stories, it's about letting them see what God's doing in and through people's lives, and, like,
Mm,
what is he doing now?
amen.
Invite them into that convo. So I
Spirit now, he hasn't changed. Like
right.
he's the same. And it's like, this is so cool. I love that. I
Oh,
just
I love that too. And he's not just for adults, he's for kids too. So, like, guess what? Like,
yes.
he's talking to
Yeah.
us. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have it faith like a child.
Trying to. It gets harder and harder with the every passing year,
Oh
but
yes.
it's like white knuckling it so I can,
Yeah.
cling to Jesus. But, well, if people want to find you, Renata, if they wanna, like, is the best way to start engaging with, like, the community and all the things that you're doing, is it on Instagram through the Kids Ministry Life page?
Yes. I think that's the best start.
Okay,
Yeah, I do have other options and things that we do. I've got a little membership for the like a more one-on-one coaching, and I got a lot like a it's a growing community I just started, but it's kind of like people we have Q&As and they can ask questions and they will find some training there too. So it's kind of more personal that it will be addressed to their needs in their church than just general, Instagram, because it's very limited to what I can share on Instagram. But yeah, so that's what I do too. But if they find me on the Instagram, they will find the way to the little community we do too.
okay, okay, that's awesome. Well, and, like, I'm excited for, like, again, I'm a big fan. I love, like, just I try not to doom scroll, but if it happens on your page, I'm just always like, "Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's such a great piece of advice." Like, "Oh, that's so practical." Like, so thank you for all the work and the way that you're not just building your local church, but also being a part of the Big C church and helping everybody win. Like,
Thank you. It's
it's
very
you're
kind.
you're doing a great job. So, thanks for coming on. Thanks for having the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. Thank you.